Hello everyone and welcome back to the Reese's Writing YouTube channel. Today we've got a little weekly update. What I've been reading, what I've been watching, other things, what's coming up on the channel, what short reviews I did last week, all that stuff to come in this video. I've got 'tis the season and all for stupid Christmas jumpers. I've got a polar bear one on today. I've only got two, I think. Yeah, I can't believe when this is coming out, it'll be 9 days till Christmas. Oh my freaking god. Crazy. But yeah, what have I been reading? So I finished, this is a bit of a detour, but I've finished Behold the Man by Micheal Moorcock. This has other stories, but I only just read Behold the Man for a review of it, and I enjoyed it. It was not what I was really expecting. I was expecting it to be more science fiction-y. I don't know why. I just had a feeling that I thought maybe it was a bit more science fiction-y than it was. But this is much more of a understanding of sort of a child and a person, like a man, like coming of age almost, showing the troubles that this one kid had. And yeah, I'll go into more details in that full video of it, but it's a very interesting short story. A lot to unfurl about the story in such, I think it's maybe 100 pages in that book, and those are big pages. So in the original, it would be maybe 100 pages or something like that in the sort of original version. So yeah, Micheal Moorcock put a lot of packed in a big punch in a small amount of time. So I really enjoyed it. He did the interweaving of times quite well, and it all sort of coalesced into one story, which I will talk about more in the Micheal Moorcock review. Behold the Man. So that is what I read. Oh shit! I finished The Outsider as well. And I would say that I really timed the reading of The Outsider with Behold the Man very well, because there's a lot of religious things in, of course, Behold the Man and The Outsider, and The Outsider sort of characteristics and characters come to show in Behold the Man. So they come in quite hand in hand, really. But yeah, I enjoyed The Outsider. A really good look at this sort of personality type, or characters, or people that have these morals and judgments on the world, and the outlook on the world, and the religious philosophies based on an outsider or someone who has these views on life, and how best to sort of they're parts that are religious dealings with how to benefit these outsiders, like being Buddhist. And I probably will go in depth with it in my monthly recap. I've pretty much finished A Haunting in the Arctic. This isn't my choice. I've joined a book club, and this was a book in there. And to be honest, giving it credit, it does stuff well. It does the gothic, Victorian feeling well. It is does the whole environment and the feeling the main protagonist gets in this ship. It does that very well, and it starts off pretty well. What can I say? It's very depressing. It's a very depressing book. There's a lot of things that would trigger people. There's a lot of rape and abuse, like violence and pretty disturbing stuff. Pretty good gothic stuff. Pretty good sort of horror, and like combining of the two is done. But oh my god! Now, if people aren't susceptible to this sort of thing, then more power to them. But oh god, I despise the use of modern day things, like proper up to date technology and social media and software, and oh god, it makes me want to curl up into a ball just whenever I hear about it. Like the use of TikTok, Googling, like Google Scholar, and like getting followers and live streaming and like checking socials. Like, oh my god, I hate that sort of stuff. I despise it with a passion, and like just using it makes me feel really cringy. Like, and that book, A Haunting in the Arctic, uses that a lot, and like that really put me off. Like getting sucked into it as a story. Like parkour, what the fuck? Why is there parkour in it? That was really weird and really forced in for some unknown reason. So yes, I will stop harassing that, because I can see it being like enjoyable to read for certain people. There are good things about this book, and I won't hate on it too much. Like the ship is pretty cool, like discovering the ship and the mystery, but the way it's done, some of the modern day stuff I like can't take too much of. And then that leads me to what I'm reading currently, and that is Inhibitor Phase. I've only really just barely started this, but I can see that I will enjoy it quite a bit. It's really good to get back into Revelation space, and it started off really well. I've gotten straight back into it. It says in the introduction that it can be done as a standalone. He does a little introduction of what's going on in the world, what happened before, where this comes in, like fits in chronologically, and in the back, which I didn't like look at, but he's gone into more detail if you needed that to get straight in. But he really wanted to make this a standalone book that you could get into and then potentially read the main three. I think it has stuff, sort of like certain characters which I haven't got to, but he says it in the introduction, that are from previous books, and it is sort of dealing with the overall overarching story of these aliens coming to the human world and wreaking havoc. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to carrying on reading this. I just need to make more time. I need to read more. That's what I've learned from reading Revelation Space. And that's all that I'm reading at the moment. I've made it. Oh my god, I need to do another book haul, because I will. Oh god, I think I may just have a problem. I think I may just have a little problem. Okay, so I went to my local bookshops again, and I bought a few more books. And I think that I will also have another book haul at the end of December. This will be my final book haul from the weekly updates. I will leave the rest for my December end of the year sort of book haul, because I think there will be more to come. But yes, here we go. Another mini book haul. So I got Herman Hesse's The Glass Bead Game. I heard this yet again from the Outlaw Bookseller, but this is Herman Hesse's sort of, it's not specifically science fiction, but it has science fiction ideas. It's about a ultra aesthetic game played by scholars and sort of the cream of the crop and like of children and their intelligence. I guess it is sort of like kind of like chess, but more upper echelon. I don't know anything about the real bead game, but yeah, it sounds like a bit of a thinking book. The character Joseph Net sounds like another sort of outsider thing like Steppenwolf, which I need to get to as well. But yeah, this sounds like a good read and sort of a something. Herman Hesse is one of the old time writers, so to him sort of dip into science fiction is quite interesting. So I would like to read that at some point. And then I did go through a bit of a classic hunt. I just felt like I needed to get some of these books and read them. This is Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. I don't think he's never said he's a full-on science fiction writer, but his ideas are all very science fiction-y, and I haven't read any Kurt Vonnegut. I have The Sirens of Titan, and I think this is his big boy, his classic. Is all very sort of World War II and like 1950s Cold War type problems in a science fiction world. I need to get Slaughterhouse 5 as well. I struggle to find that. This is J.G. Ballard's High Rise. I haven't read any J.G. Ballard as well, same as Kurt Vonnegut. And this is his big one. I've seen previous versions that are sort of more modern. They're like rehashes, and I think this is the sort of first edition paperback. But it's about a tower block that's filled with parties and I think each floor, like the further up you go, the more sort of posh and the richer the people are. I think that's the idea of it. But yeah, I haven't read it, I haven't watched it, so I need to really. So that's another one. And then I've got another classic. Woohoo! Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. The world is sort of taken over by stinging plants. We have More Than Human by Theodore Sturgeon. Another SF masterwork. I'm collecting them. I have 3. It's not a very good collection. I swear I have more, but this is my 4th one, number 28. Yeah, so I watched a review of this by Sci-Fi Finds, and I liked the idea of it. He said it was really good, so I'm very much looking forward to it. It is a sort of classic science fiction, another one. So if you haven't gone subscribed to Sci-Fi Finds, then go subscribe to him. He's done some interesting reads, some quite the amount of reading going on there. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I think it's about sort of connections between people. Um, they share sort of a hive mind, I would say. They only have like two words, but then when they come together, they become sort of something more than themselves. Yes, and then I have Roger Zelazny. You know, when I got Sign of the Unicorn last week, I I do remember in the shop there being the rest of the series, or not the rest of the series, but others in that series. So I went back and I found the first one. I found Nine Princes in Amber, and then I found the second one, which I believe. Sorry, I just hit the mic. I shall put that down. I think the second one is The Hand of Oberon. I think that's the second one. I may be wrong. Future Reese can tell me. Third one is The Signs of the Unicorn, which I showed last week, and then I have the fourth one, The Guns of Avalon. So I have the first four in Roger Zelazny's Nine Princes of Amber, and I think that it starts off a little bit science fiction-y. Yeah, starts off a bit science fiction-y. I think it gets a bit fantasy-esque. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm looking forward to it. They're quite short reads, so I could dip in and out of them during the year. And that's the book haul. Not that many, okay? Give me a break, all right? Not that many. What did I watch? So I finished Bodies, and it was a limited one series show, which I'm very glad of. It sort of sealed it all up in a nice sort of bow. And there was no real surprises, to be honest. There was no surprises. None at all. It was very surpriseless. Yeah, which is a bit of a letdown, really. But there you go. That's the problem with dealing with time manipulation. If you sort of manipulate anything else, it throws a whole thing off. So, I don't know. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It was quite a good watch. Like, I think there was only 7 episodes. There were definitely like timelines that were pretty pointless. They were only sort of setting up certain parts of the life of the main sort of villain. They didn't really do anything else. I guess it could move on if it wanted to, but I think, knowing Netflix, they won't carry anything on. And then I watched Gladiator, which it could have been worse. It could have been worse for me. I don't really remember the first Gladiator, and I'm glad it wasn't a full-on sequel. It sort of had throwbacks and like flashbacks to parts of the first one, so I got the gist, and I had an idea of what it was, but I didn't really remember much about it. I wasn't a big fan of Gladiator in the first place, but I thought I would give it a try. And yeah, there were some good parts. There was some really shitty CGI in some of it. Some of the CGI wasn't all amazing. I guess it showed a story. But yeah, Gladiators, I think it was the CGI told the story, but like it wasn't that believable at all, really. Like, they were pretty crazy stuff that they CGI'd, like monkeys and sharks. Yeah, I didn't really expect the battles to go that epic. It was almost like Ridley Scott, who was the director, was like, we need to go more. We need more. Give me more stuff. So, like, put in a fucking shark. We need sharks. We need battleships. And maybe the Romans did do that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they just took a little shark in there, have them fight it out in like boats. I don't know. I don't know the history. But yeah, it could have been worse. I won't go into ratings. I will do ratings next in the month wrap up. Yeah. So I started off with Absolution Gap from Revelation Space, the third book. I should have probably done the first one, but I wanted to talk about the third one the most, mainly because it was fresher in my mind, and it had a lot of cool ideas, which I enjoyed. Shame about the ending though. Then The Test by Sylvain Neuvel, a sort of short story about the British citizenship test, which I enjoyed. Doris Lessing's Martha Quest, which I've pretty much put Doris Lessing in all my videos. I think she's been in all of them, so I got to put her in again. And then Valis by the old Philip K. Dick. Bonkers, that's all I say. And then day 13 was the Dracula review. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it, because I think it's one of the weirdest, kind of the funniest videos I've done on this thing. It's up there with the Alien one, so go check that out. Yeah, I enjoy that type of videos, so I will carry on the story, carry on the weird and wonderful world of whatever's going on there. And then day 14 we had Prophecy by Dave Seltzer. It had some good stuff in it. And then day 15, The Watch House by Robert Westall, which is a sort of British horror thing. It wasn't that great, but there was also some good parts in it as well. And then today we had The Dreaming Isles, which is a short story collection of horror based around Britain, countryside, city, coast, which will have, of course, some ups and downs, some good stories, some bad stories. And this had a good collection of different short stories that I enjoyed, on all three of the countryside, city and ocean, coast. Yeah, so go check those out. I have a playlist on my channel, which I will put in one of those corners. And then what's coming up this week? So we've got a tag video on Friday, holy shit, Friday the 20th of December, fuck. We have the Behold the Man review, which I will be doing a more in-depth look at Behold the Man of what I've done just then. And I did Mike's book reviews. If you're on BookTube, you should know Mike's book reviews. He did his sort of biggest surprises of 2024, which I found quite interesting. He reads quite a lot, so good to see his readings and what surprised him. I think Blackwater sounds like a good book for me to maybe take a look at. And then I watched Paul Todkill. He did a sort of writing vlog about him. He's creating a sort of anthology-esque book from his sort of cozy tavern fantasy thing that he's coming up with, and he's going through the sort of process of creating like an audio book, but this is more sort of an audio drama type thing with like sound effects and music. So it's really cool to see that, and it's really cool to see people creating stories on and putting them up on YouTube, because I feel like, for me anyway, to do that is quite a creative and freeing thing to release stories out into the world, and not just sort of keep them locked up and ready to be released when you've figured out cover art and what type font you're going to use and all that, and you get a publisher and things. You can just release it out I find that quite freeing and quite cool. So it's good that someone else is doing that. So go check out that video. And that's it. That's pretty much, that's the ones that I sort of wanted to point out anyway. Yeah, that is the video. That is a weekly wrap up. What did you read this week? If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. I will not do a book call next week. I'll be pretty busy anyway. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Say bye, polar bear. Bye. Bye.